Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
It's time for the Lithia Ford of Boise Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view their full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Post-Game Show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game show from the Cutwater Mobile Studios here on the road at the State Farm Fieldhouse in Orlando, Florida. Perfect night for a Cutwater or two after this one. Make sure you pick up one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails from your local gas station or grocery store. Our title sponsor, of course, is RowPaint.com. Power and people, pride in painting, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Make sure you check them out at RowPaint.com. Tough one tonight for Boise State. The final score, they lose this one, and we're quick on the postgame show, so I know a lot of you guys may be coming in late and then watching this later, but Boise State falls 82-75 tonight to the Virginia Tech Hokies in the opening round of the ESPN Events Invitational here in Orlando. Just really tough one for Boise State, led by as many as 12 points, and then just obviously, just really couldn't get things going. Virginia Tech went on a big run and took the lead before the half. And then Boise State battled back. I thought they played, pretty well to battle back. They had some adversity against them tonight with some of the fouls and things. The total numbers, Boise State only gets called for 2 more fouls, 11 more free throw attempts, though, for Virginia Tech. And it just seemed like it was really hard in this one to get much going for Boise State, to get in a flow, and you just had some weird calls, and it just, I'm not going to say the officiating is what lost Boise State this game, but certainly seems like a factor in this one was Boise State just not being able to get some of the close calls. And I thought that huge play, Boise State was down by 2. There was a jump ball. Boise State gets the call. They're trying to call timeout. Instead, they call a jump ball. There's 4 seconds on the shot clock. And then there's a long 3-pointer for Virginia Tech by number 3 that put them up by that was Padula, and that put them up at that point by 5, and then they put another layup and they made it by 7, and the game was pretty much over at that point. So just thought that was a really tough stretch there for that one. We're going to have Leon Rice joining us live. We're going to have Tyson Degenhart joining us live as well. Dennis says, thank you, BJ. Always grateful. We got a lot to get to in this one, and we'll be having Max Rice coming on. Looks like Cam Martin's walking out too. I don't know if he's coming on the show or going to talk to his family, but I believe we're going to have Tyson Degenhart. We're going to have Leon Rice live as well. Cy and Bummer. Those are the first 2 comments that pop in, and both of those are probably pretty accurate for this one, to be 100% honest with you. A tough game. Let's see. Max Rice, 6 turnovers, terrible shot selection, no resistance. Can we talk about Max Rice? Max Rice, quickly, how folks forget, becomes one of the players that's struggling more than anybody in people's minds, when he was one of the best players on the team last year, and he's a preseason all Mountain West type of guy. So certainly tough for Boise State from that standpoint. And but I don't think he's a problem at any point. I believe Tyson's going to be coming back here in a minute. We'll see which player we end up getting. But Boise State again falls in this one, 82-75. Come up short. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Let's see what else we got to. The haters are coming out in full force here, of course. let's see, too many turnovers on this one. Let's see what else we got here. So looks like Coach Rice is going to join us right away. So we'll bring in Coach Leon Rice. 82-75, the final in this one. Sorry to tangle it for you, Coach. Coach, appreciate you agreeing to join us here. Obviously, got off to a great start, back and forth game. Great two high-level teams playing, but just a couple plays right down the stretch there that didn't go your way.
Yeah, a couple, like 4 seconds to go in the game or in the shot clock. That was huge. I mean, and he shot that, though. I mean, what a great shot by that kid. That was a huge play because I think we're down 2.
Yeah.
And we get the ball. If he misses, we get the rebound, away we go. I thought that was a big play in what was going to be a down to the last possession game.
Yeah, I mean, early in the game, you guys did a great job on the boards, got up big, and then kind of flipped there, and that helped Virginia Tech go on a huge run to end the half. I know some of that's just missed shots or easier for the other team to rebound, but how you guys came out tonight?
We're disappointed, but you don't have any time to be disappointed, and we're working through some stuff. We just it was our turnovers tonight because we're moving different guys around as far as the point guard spot and, getting some, trying to get some solid play out of that. And so we were a little discombobulated just enough, maybe offensively. And they're a good defensive team as far as they got quick guards and it's hard to handle the ball against them and the way they defend, and they're really, really physical. So, give credit to Virginia Tech. We knew they were good. I thought we played a great game with just little pockets of where we didn't do the right stuff. And, that's what happens this time of year. And when you're playing against a good team, anytime you make a mistake, they expose it.
I'm sorry.
And, like you said, we guarded pretty good, and then they hit one from the corner and just things like that. And, but they expose you every time you make a mistake.
You made a switch to the starting lineup tonight, going with Jace Whiting, and Jason Roddy both at times did some great things for you. But they're in crunch time down the stretch. You went with Max kind of at the point there, and your 3 big guys, and it seemed like that was kind of your better lineup tonight. What'd you make all that kind of switch?
It did some good stuff, and but we weren't as fluid offensively with all those big guys out there, but it caused some problems, and we did some good things defensively out of it. So, like I said, you're still experimenting with a lot of stuff, and when you're doing that against a great team, they expose any mistake that you make.
You won the battle of the boards. You shoot 48% from the field. I mean, at one point I looked up and I'm like, how are you guys losing this game? There was a big difference in the foul line.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you said to get the technical foul, but the fans all game were on social media were pretty irate with the officials and just the back and forth. It just the free throw line was a big factor in the game tonight.
It really was a huge factor. And it's, just we're out here unfamiliar with some people that are here. So but that's just the way it is. There's no excuses for that. You can't, you can't worry about that. You can't dwell on that. And even, like I told the guys in the locker room, these tournaments are so great because you got to play a great game after a great game after a great game. So there can be no time, feeling sorry for yourself. There can be no time worrying about the mistakes we just made. None. You got to move on so we can, we play a really good VCU team. I was really surprised after what I saw. We go in the locker room, they were up 8 or 9 with 5 minutes to go. And they, Iowa State made a great comeback to beat them. So, I mean, out of the frying pan into the fire with another great game.
I know you played this tournament. You do these games because you knew it was going to be tough. Maybe the 2-2 record start isn't what you guys had wanted. But
sure.
I mean, you guys probably knew obviously coming into this that maybe the record wouldn't maybe look as pretty, but you're going to have be battle tested here in the future.
Yeah, and if you wanted a 12-0 record, you'd schedule all home games
which some teams are doing.
No doubt. And this team needs to be challenged. We need to find out what our issues are and how we get better at them, because when you have a team of workers and guys that care about each other and guys that love to compete and guys that want to get better, they'll be coachable. We'll find a way to be a really good team, and I think we are already. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater because you lost to 2 ACC teams. And
some fans are wanting to.
Oh yeah, but they don't understand basketball then because, not many teams are going to beat Clemson at Clemson, and Virginia Tech's going to win their fair share. I know that.
Yeah.
Especially, the way they're shooting the ball right now. So, but it makes you better. Those losses don't hurt you in the net. They, you're playing, like I said, great teams. Now we gotta get better. And that's why we did it. And that's why we're playing these games. And, you look around the country, I mean, Tom Izzo's 3-3 right now. Guess what? They're going to get better. And, they play great teams, and that's what he does. He challenges his guys, and that's why they're really good in March.
Yeah.
Because where other teams aren't getting that kind of experience and aren't getting that kind of exposure of their weaknesses, they don't get better. But you got to withstand some stuff, and, we have to withstand the pain of getting beat. These guys don't like their competitors. They don't like to get beat. And so, but I knew they could stand up to it. And, we got to bounce back quickly to play a really athletic VCU team.
We appreciate your time, Coach, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
There he is, Leon Rice. Appreciate him for stopping by. Boise State, again, 82-75 is the final score in this one. We're going to have Tyson Degenhart joining us here shortly, so we will bring him on in just a minute. But again, 82-75. Like some of the things that Tyson did tonight, got Tyson Degenhart going. That was nice. And again, I hope you guys appreciate that interview with Coach Rice. He doesn't have to do that. He agrees to come on live with us after the games and on the road here for the most part, and especially after a tough loss. He doesn't have to do that. So we appreciate Coach Rice for agreeing to do that. Seahawks stink, Mariners stink, and now men's basketball stinks again. Wouldn't go that far. Obviously, still a lot of season left. We'll bring in Tyson Degenhart here, friend of BNN. Tyson, appreciate you for joining us, man. Obviously a tough one tonight.
Yeah, especially the way we came out. I think we responded really well to the Clemson game and came out hot and really crushed the boards. And just a couple things didn't go our way, and that's the kind of thing with such a good team like Virginia Tech. If a couple things don't go your way, you're not going to end up winning.
What did kind of flip there? You guys did get set to such a great start. You're up 14-2, then you're up 31-20. You guys were up, I think, 16-6 on the boards, and then all of a sudden, that last 8 or 9 minutes, they went on, I think, a 24-10 run to end the half.
We just didn't get stops. I think we did a good job guarding in that first 10 to 12 minutes of the half, and then we just didn't have that same intensity that we had, and it just kind of ended up biting us in the butt a little bit.
I mean, the second half back and forth game, it just seemed like a couple key plays down the stretch. That jump ball call was huge. You guys were trying to get the timeout, and then, of course, they hit a 30-foot three there. I mean, it just seemed like a couple close plays didn't go your way tonight.
Yeah, I think that three was big. We forced them into a hard shot with the shot clock running down, and when it goes in, that's a heartbreaker for you.
You knew their guards were good, obviously, coming in, but they hit some big shots, and especially Couture early in the game. He was kind of their only offense, but their guards were as good as advertised tonight.
Absolutely. Couture and Padula are two high-class guards, and Lynn Kidd at the 5 is a really good player as well. So they have a great core of guys, and they can do a lot of damage this year in the ACC.
I mean, you guys win the rebounding battle. You shoot 48% from the field. You did a lot of good things tonight, but I know the free throw line, there was a big disparity there. But, I mean, where do you think it just kind of went wrong? Because a lot of the stats, they look pretty good. I know the turnovers, the 16 turnovers, and some of those led to easy baskets for them at the other end. But I guess 27 points off turnovers for Virginia Tech. That I guess that's where it was lost, maybe right there.
Yeah, the stats we kind of look at are rebounding, and we obviously out-rebounded them, but the turnover one is big, and then the points off turnovers as well. And you can also look at free throw shooting. They shot 11 more, but that's just a part of the game, and some fouls you get free throws and some you don't. So that's just the way it goes.
How did it feel for you, at least, to get out there more of a flow, play some more minutes, and obviously had a more productive game at 18 points?
It felt good. I think it did some good things out there. Obviously had a couple hiccups there, giving up a couple open shots, but I think our team overall played a lot better than we did on Sunday, and we just have something to build off of, and hopefully have another great performance tomorrow.
We saw you guys, going with Max there at the point, later in the game, and it seemed like that was pretty effective for you guys. They have you, what's it like with you having Omar and Cam out there together?
It's great. I think it allows us to rebound really well. We got a really big lineup, and we can take advantage of some of the mismatches we have, and I think it makes our offense more dynamic having our huge lineup with our smallest guy being 6'5".
All right, talk to some of the fans here. They're a little dejected. The 2 straight losses here, 2 opportunities. Obviously gone now, but obviously a lot of games left. But what how are you guys mentally, I guess, dealing with this? And for fans that are, I don't want to say giving up on the season, but a little frustrated right now with the 2-2 start, what would you say?
I think if you look at the last 3 years, this 2-2 is a lot different than the other 2-2s. We lost to two really high quality opponents that are going to do a lot of damage this year in the ACC. And I think the last 2 years we had a couple hiccups early in the season, and I think we're moving along really well as a group, and we're still figuring out the kinks, figuring out the right lineups for us. Obviously the Canada trip helped, but we're still trying to find our way through that, and things are going to come. You're gonna see when this team clicks, and it's going to click here pretty soon.
And you guys don't have much time. You have pretty soon. You guys play 8:00 again tomorrow night. Now, what you were watching a little bit of that game. I saw you guys out there, watching that Iowa State VCU game. But I know you'll dive into the scouting report more tomorrow. But another athletic, quality team. You guys obviously know their coach and a couple of their players pretty well as well.
Yeah, Coach Obe's a great coach. Going to have his team ready to go tomorrow, and then Shilga lit it up tonight. So he definitely be a hard guard, and they're very athletic. And you can see what they did to Iowa State in the first half. They can really get after you defensively and on the boards.
Well, don't look at the comments. We'll save that for the next Tyson show.
That's all right.
Appreciate your time, Tyson. And like you said, it is a 2-2. Does have a different feeling than losing to Charlotte and South Dakota State.
Yeah,
so it seems like you guys are. You're still feeling pretty good about this?
Oh yeah, we still have a lot of things to figure out, but we have such a new group, and we're going to figure it out. We're going to keep working and keep sticking together, and we're going to have this team as a whole, so we'll all be good.
Appreciate it, Tyson. Thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely.
Tyson Degenhart, appreciate his time here on Bronco Nation News after Boise State falls again 82-75 the final in this one. Tyson Degenhart had 18 points for the Broncos, but again they're unable to win this one, and they fall. Again, the final score was 82-75. A lot still to get to on this one. I want to take your comments, your thoughts. I got some thoughts as well, and some of the things that both Leon Rice and Tyson Degenhart said I want to talk about, but we do need to thank some of our sponsors. So quick 90-second timeout. Don't go anywhere. Bronco Nation News coming right back after this 90-second break. Plenty more to get to. Get your comments, your thoughts in. 2-2 start. You heard what Tyson said. Are you okay with it? Let us know. We'll tell you what we think here in a second on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, we're back live here courtside at the State Farm Fieldhouse in Orlando, Florida. The quarterfinals are in the books. Your 4 teams moving on: Texas A&M, Florida Atlantic, and then in the evening session it was Iowa State and Virginia Tech. The 4 favorites all won. So I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying bad loss and all this stuff. But don't forget, Virginia Tech was favored in this game. Was it a game Boise State could have won? Sure. Was it a game that would have been a big win for them to have later in the season? Yes. Is this another, quote, bad loss? No. You heard Tyson Degenhart say it there. They lost to Charlotte and South Dakota State during their 2-2 start last year. They've lost to Clemson and Virginia Tech this year. So let's pump the brakes just a little bit on this game right here. There's the Keene family. Good to see them. Hey, Sarah Keene, how we doing? Good to see the Keene family. We saw RJ get in there a little bit tonight and get a nice offensive rebound. But just not enough tonight for Boise State. But I do want to say, like, I get it. You're fans. You're frustrated. You could have won the game. You're up 12. Like, I get it. Yeah, it was from that standpoint, I guess you could say it was a rough loss. But was this a, quote, bad loss? No. I mean, they were not supposed to win this game. They were not supposed to beat Clemson. They were underdogs in both games. So I don't know what folks are exactly, super mad about, because you weren't favored. So I get it. You could have won. It would have been a nice win. Yes, from that standpoint, it was a frustrating game that got away. I saw somebody say that, and I do agree with that part of it. But in terms of this being some, here they are, can't win the big game again, or can't whatever. I mean, they weren't supposed to win. Ken Pom had them projected to lose. Virginia Tech was ranked 14 spots higher at Ken Pom, and they were playing an ACC team for the second straight game, and it didn't go their way. So, someone saying I think fans expected to go undefeated this year. They're going the teams they're playing in this tournament and against Clemson, and when they play St. Mary's next week, like, those are going to be like 5 of the best 7 teams they play all season. Like, the Mountain West is not going to be facing the teams they're playing right now. So do they need to win one of these next 2 games? Yeah, you don't want to go 0 for 4 on this trip. They need to find a way to win. They'd like, you still have a nice opportunity to go 2. Sometimes, I hate to say this, but sometimes losing the first game, you want to go 2-1 in these tournaments. And sometimes losing the first game gives you the better chance to go 2-1. Because if they would have won this game, then lost to Iowa State, they would have had to play either Texas A&M or Florida Atlantic in the third place game. You look at what they did when they went to the Myrtle Beach tournament last year. They lost the first game to Charlotte, but then they played Loyola Chicago and Colorado and were able to win both those games. So now you have a chance to play a good VCU team tomorrow, and that's going to be a tough game, but you win that, and then you play a quality Penn State team or Butler in the 5th place game. So, I mean, there's still a opportunity. I mean, I guess Grant Tetons wasn't watching that game. I mean, VCU was up double digits on Iowa State, who's ranked number 13 at Ken Pom. That game came down to the wire. So if you're watching that game, VCU is a quality team that Boise State is going to be playing tomorrow. We can try to go find the Ken Pom numbers real quick to see where they're at. But VCU is a quality game, and I'll be very curious to see where they end up in the they're number 91 at Ken Pom right now. And again, they only lost by 4 to Iowa State, who was ranked 13 coming into the game. So that's going to be a tough game tomorrow. But as I said, you do have an opportunity now to you have an opportunity to still win 2 games in this tournament, go 2-1. And, I think that it is what it is. If they lose the next 2 games and we're sitting here on Sunday and they're 0-4 on this trip, and they're, 2-5 on the season or whatever it would be, 2-4, I guess. We can talk then, but I still will probably say, hey, they played 3 games that 3 teams that were ranked higher than them or better, and they didn't get any of the wins. So, is it a tough, score? Is it a tough night? Could you have won the game? Yes. But Dan, I don't know how that has anything to do with tonight. Tyron being one of the only teams who have never won a March Madness game. That March Madness is about 5 months away, and I'll be honest with you, games like tonight are going to help them in March Madness. A Virginia Tech team is the kind of team they're going to play in the first round of the tournament. So to play these games now and to get this game, you heard Leon Rice say it. How would you guys be feeling if you were 6-0 right now, but you've played Coppin State and Wofford and some of the teams, Campbell? I mean, just you got to put it in perspective here a little bit, folks. I get it. You're frustrated. But this is not some horrible loss. This is a quad 2 loss in a neutral floor. I mean, this is not, this is it's just I knew people would be frustrated, but I didn't 17-16 team this year. Wow. Okay. You guys need to just I get it. I appreciate the watching the show and the comments, but I really think you guys are going a little overboard tonight with this one. Frustrating loss. Can't blame the officials. Got to close down the stretch. I hate to say this, but it was someone behind the bench, and it may have even been Brock Rice. There was somebody behind the bench that said something to the officials that got the technical. So it was not Leon Rice. It was a fan in the front row. It was not Leon Rice did not say anything when he got the technical. There was a fan in the front row, and I don't know ultimately who ended up getting it. Turnovers and shot selection, big buildup, come out firing blanks. Doug Sermon's getting a shout out. 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Doug Sermon's terrible officiating. Let's see, too many turnovers. Melinda, appreciate you for watching. That certainly was an issue, and I didn't realize it till the end, but that was 27 points off turnovers. Let's go ahead and put the final stats on the screen here. 75-82 the final, but you see over there on the right-hand side, 27 points off turnovers, 16 turnovers for Boise State, and Virginia Tech made them pay. 27 points off turnovers is as high as I can remember in a long time. So Tyson Degenhart with 18 points to lead the Broncos. Good to see him going 5 of 7 from the field, 36 minutes. Abbo got off to a hot start. He was 6 of 12, 15 points. Max Rice got going a little bit, 12 points. Still need to get going more from him, but 6 turnovers tonight for Max Rice. He was just trying to force things at times. I think it's been a little frustrating start for him to really not be able to get going offensively. And I think part of that, lack of offense or lack of open shots is trying to get him to force things a little bit, and that led to some turnovers. So they got to just try to find some ways to get Max some shots, and he'll start knocking them down. 12 for him, then 13 for Omar Stanley, at 8 for Cam Martin. So your two big guys again combined for 21 and 7. Another solid outing there. But I think the big story is you got 19 minutes out of Jace Whiting, who made the start tonight, and then you got 13 minutes out of Roddy Anderson. And both those guys combined for 7 points. You saw it later in the game, and I wonder if Boise State's going to stick with it. They went with the three big guys on the court at the same time: Tyson Degenhart and Martin and Stanley. So it wouldn't shock me if they start Max Rice tomorrow at the point guard spot and just go with that lineup for a while and see what happens. It obviously helped them on the rebounding edge. They did win the rebounding margin 35-28. That's not a bad number after getting just crushed on the rebound margin against Clemson. So they came back and won the rebounding battle, did some things. But overall, just not enough. You look at those guards there with Padula with 18 points, Couture at 19, and then Nickel coming off the bench with 14. He was only averaging about 9 per game on the season, so he hit some big shots there. And then Kidd on the inside with 19 points as well. So it was 4 guys pretty much doing it all for Virginia Tech. And, Boise State had 4 guys in double figures as well, but 8 of 21 from three-point range for Boise State, 7 of 18 for Virginia Tech. And again, the Broncos fall in this one 82-75. And again, they will play at 8 p.m. So the only positive, I guess, or one of the few positives, is the game will not overlap with the football game tomorrow. So Boise State football starts at 2:00 in a huge game against Air Force, 2:00 Mountain Time, and then at 6:00 Mountain Time as they're turning the lights off on us, and Abe Jackson heading out here as well. But 2:00 Mountain Time for the football game, and then it'll be 6:00 Mountain Time again, right about when the football game ends. With the basketball game. So we'll have a pregame show for football that will happen at about 1:30. We'll go 1:30 right up until kickoff, 1:30 until 2:00 probably, or maybe 1:00. We'll start the pregame show for football at 1:00 Mountain Time, and then we'll kind of do a joint pregame for football and basketball at 1:00 Mountain Time tomorrow. That'll take us up until kickoff, and then we'll have a joint postgame show after the basketball games. There will not be a football postgame show before the basketball game. We just don't have the ability to do that while we're live watching a basketball game. So pregame for both about 1:00 Mountain, postgame for both about 8:00 Mountain, and I'll be loaded on both those shows. So let's see what else we got here. This team has 12 forwards. We will never win a tourney game. Let's see. Not what lost us the game is no playable backcourt. Max Rice has regressed. Jace Roddy can't hang with Power 5 schools. I wouldn't say that about Max Rice. I think teams are guarding him a lot better, and I think that he is forcing some shots to try to find some openings, and it's not working for him. And right now he's forcing some things and getting some more turnovers. So I would say to just slow down a little bit on Max Rice. He's still one of the best players in the Mountain West, and one of the better shooters out there. And I think once that he finds a way to start getting some shots off, I think Boise State is going to see the results of that when he starts scoring some more points. I do agree, and I hate to say it because I know Mr. Whiting watches the show, and I know some Anderson family watches the show, but they're just not getting enough from the point guard position right now. Leon Rice said that the other day himself, that you have to have more, and they made the switch in the lineup to Jace Whiting, and again, he played 19 minutes. He actually came in and did some things. I thought Jace Whiting actually did a couple of nice things. 4 points. He was 2 of 4 from the field and had 1 turnover, 1 rebound, 1 foul in 19 minutes. So Jace Whiting, he was fine. He came in, was manageable, did a couple of things. Roddy Anderson in 13 minutes had 3 points. And let's see what the plus minus numbers were again for this one as well. But Roddy Anderson was -5 and Jace Whiting was -1. on that one. So Omar Stanley was -8, was the worst one, but he played a lot of minutes tonight. But I think you need to get more from the point guard spot, and it was obvious. I mean, Leon Rice took both of them out and had Max Rice at the point guard spot in this game down the stretch. So I think that shows you Leon Rice's confidence level right now, that he had both of them on the bench and had the three big guys out there together. I mean, those are their 5 best players right now. Let's see. Defending Max, classic BJ. He loves the Rice family. It's 4 games. It's 4 games. It's one of the one of the better players in the Mountain West, has Mountain West recognition, was on a lot of the preseason teams, and it's been 4 games, and 2 of them are against really good competition. So again, is 6 turnovers what you want? No. But am I going to say he had a horrible game and lost them the game, and his dad should bench him? No, I'm not going to say that either. Like I said, I think he's just trying to force some things right now. It just hasn't been easy for him. The teams are playing good defense against them, and yeah, he had a couple bad turnovers tonight. One of them led to an easy bucket for Virginia Tech. It was not the best game of Max Rice's career. I will come out and say that, but I'm not going to say that he is a horrible player and should be benched because he had 6 turnovers in one game. So it wasn't great, but he had 5 rebounds, had 2 assists as well. He was only -3, and they lost by 7. So, and his -3 was one of the better plus minuses on the team. So, I get it. Everybody wants to find somebody to rip on and pick on, but I don't think that Max Rice is where all of your fire should be pointed at tonight. He again, the 6 turnovers were not great. I don't know how many of those 6 led to buckets for Virginia Tech, but again, he's one of the better players out there, and you're going to look up at the end of the season, he's going to have some huge shots and some huge buckets. He hit a huge shot that cut the deficit to 2 with about 2 minutes to go, right before they had that play on the floor where they had the jump ball, which ended up being a big big call in the game where Boise State was trying to call timeout. They gave them the jump ball, and then they hit the 3-pointer right there. That changed the game. But right before that, Max Rice had hit a huge 3 to cut the deficit to 2. So I thought he rushed a couple shots. I mean, yeah, Max Rice rushed a couple shots. Didn't probably have the best shot selection tonight. There was an ill-advised 3 at one point. But again, I think he's just frustrated because he's not having a lot of opportunities out there right now. So, it is what it is. It wasn't the best game of his career, but I'm not going to come out here and rip on Max Rice. So if you want to say I'm defending him because I like his family, I guess you can say that. Why did Rice get the technical? I may have missed this earlier in the broadcast. Greg, appreciate you for joining us. He got the technical because someone in the front row of the bench said something, but there was a fan in the front row, and it may have been Brock Rice, actually, that said something in the front row right there, and that led to the technical foul. So it was not on Leon. It was somebody in the front row, but I guess the official thought it was Leon or thought it was somebody on the bench. I don't really know exactly. But who's going to Vegas if the stars align for the Mountain West Football Championship? I will definitely be going to that one. Looking forward, hopefully, to getting down to Vegas and staying at Circa for a couple nights. So if anybody is interested in going down last minute for the championship and wants to stay at Circa, we can see if we can get you a promo code. Send me an email or a note. Played better than the Clemson game. Still not sold on this team. Lots of work to do. Rice is a liability. Again, he was the second leading scorer last year and was an all-Mountain West player. So I just don't quite get the Max Rice hate at this point. Let's see. If the refs really were the problem, blame the refs, not the team. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Need Brock Rice on the pregame tomorrow. Will the basketball game be televised? Yeah, I think it's on ESPNU again. So I think it's on ESPNU. We'll check on that tomorrow, but I believe the ESPNU, thank you there for the game tomorrow. And that'll be again 6:00 Mountain Time. Let's see. Still got to claim our Circa nights from the golf tournament. Great, Melinda. And let me know about that. If for some reason you don't have the certificate or something happened, I can hook you up. But hopefully you still have those. Or if that's something I forgot to do, please let me know. But again, tough game for Boise State. I get it, but the sky is not falling. We will keep this thing rolling. We got time, and we got some more stuff to get to. Keep your comments rolling. Keep your comments going. And we're here at State Farm Fieldhouse. We'll preview a big day tomorrow for Boise State football and basketball, and we'll keep your comments going right after this 90-second break here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON Management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON Management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, we got some comments still rolling in here. Let's see. Neither Clemson nor Virginia Tech will be quad 3 or quad 4. No, they're quad 1 or quad 2 games. Yeah, that's one of the let's see, 45-9, 45-10. I think that was you, James. Send me an email. I'll have to go back and check that. There's a lot going on right now, and I apologize if you're supposed to have a gift card. It is what it is, but I'm on the road and not able to send that to you right now. But if you should have won a gift card for some reason and you don't have it yet, send me an email, and I will get that to you guys as soon as I can. So I'm looking at the comments here. Again, I thought there were some weird foul calls. I'm not going to say the referees, blew the game for Boise State, but I thought, there were a couple of calls that I didn't necessarily agree with. Both sides were yelling. There was one time where literally both fan bases were like up in arms yelling at the ref at the exact same time. So, I mean, when that's happening, it's obvious that there was some issues on both sides. Let's see. We could be playing sub 300 ranked teams like New Mexico and UNLV. We'd be undefeated, but that wouldn't help us in Mountain West play. Yeah, Derek. I mean, that's you heard Leon Rice say that. I mean, Leon Rice said that in his post-game interview, that Boise State could be fattening up on some easy wins. Everybody would feel great. This team's awesome. Then you get into Mountain West play, and nothing has come of it because you're not ready for games like this. So, and Tyson Degenhart said it as well. This is a different 2-2 than last year. So, now's your opportunity. Now's your opportunity to go beat a good VCU team, and then beat either Penn State or who would they play? Penn State or Butler. So still 2 tough games to go. I mean, this is all those teams are going to be pretty good, top 100 games. These are quad 2 games even tomorrow and on Sunday. So this tournament is not going to get any easier for Boise State here down the stretch. So they have a chance to win some games here and still go 2-1 in this tournament. But again, even if they lose tomorrow, even if they were to lose on Sunday, I think this is certainly a time in the season where they're playing some really, really tough games, and it may not show up on the win-loss record. But when you get into Mountain West play, the one thing you do is you really can't afford to lose all these. I mean, you got to win one of these next 2. You probably need to beat St. Mary's, to be honest with you, as well. And then you have the Washington State game that now becomes a big one because you really just can't, I get it, even if they're all quad 1, quad 2 losses, but you really can't go into Mountain West play with like a, 6-5 record or something. I mean, you need to try to, you got to give yourself a little margin for error in conference play. If you have to go undefeated in Mountain West play to make the tournament, that's going to be a little tough. So I think if you're the regular season champion, you're obviously going to be in a really good spot. And this team is going to, this league is going to get 3 or 4 or 5 teams in. To be honest with you, you just have to avoid the bad loss, which they haven't done yet. So, which they have done. They have not had a bad loss. They have avoided the bad loss. So I think overall Boise State has played pretty well and done some nice things. Even though they're 2-2, I get it. The record's not great, but I think there's no way you could watch that game, watch them battle, watch them be up on the glass, watch them be tied in the game with 4 minutes left or whatever it was, and think, oh man, this team's going to have a rough year. They didn't win the game, but I mean, they did a lot of good things tonight that should make you feel very good about Mountain West play and a lot of these games moving forward. So I knew folks would be upset. Let's see. Utah State was like 0-8 in quad 1 games last year. Still got a 10 seed. I understand that, but I'm saying just in non-conference play, Derek, because I mean, yeah, I understand you on this. I'm just saying the overall record. I get it that they're all good games, but I don't think you don't want to go into Mountain West play being 5-6 and all of a sudden have to go 16-2. I mean, when you're a Mountain West team, it's hard to lose more than 10, 11, 12 games and get into the NCAA tournament. So I just mean more from an overall record standpoint. Even if they are quality games, you don't want to lose every single one of them. Would it make it impossible to get in the tournament? No, but. I do think, you have to, Mark says, no way, you can't lose them all. I understand that. That's exactly what I'm saying. You need to win some of these games. But if the main reason is just for the record. I don't care about quad 1, quad 2, whatever. If you're 5-6 going into conference play, you don't give yourself a lot of margin for error. You've got to go 15-3 in conference play to have 9 losses going into the Mountain West tournament. That's still a lot of losses for a mid-major team. So I'm just saying, could you lose both these games and still be okay? Yes. Would it be nice to get at least one of these? Absolutely. You'd like to win a game or two here. So surprise Meadow isn't playing much after a great Canada trip. Well, he plays the same position as Tyson Degenhart, and Tyson Degenhart played 36 minutes tonight. So I'm not sure where he would play or who you would have him play over. Let's see. You need to go 2-1 in the next 3 to get back on track, is what BSU Bill says. I agree with that. I mean, you'd like to go 3. Yeah, you got that 2-1 would be really, really nice with the 3 you have coming up. You've got the game against VCU, and then you're playing either Butler or Penn State in the 5th place game. And again, guys, I mean, I bet you Boise State's, if they're favored tomorrow, it's going to be a very close game. And if they're favored in the next game, it'd be very close. If not, there's a chance Boise State might be underdogs in both of these games coming up here. So, this is, again, the record is one thing, but look at how they're playing and look at who they're playing. And I think just because they're losing some of these games doesn't necessarily mean a lot of negative things moving forward here for this team. But you'd like to certainly get one. If you get 2 and you go 2-1 and you're 2-2 on the trip, I think that's a great trip. So these next 3 games are big. You got St. Mary's coming up next week. The VCU game is going to be tough tomorrow. I mean, I watched that game, guys. They were up double digits on Iowa State. I mean, go watch that game. Look at their stats. VCU has some dudes on that team. So it wouldn't shock me if VCU is favored in the game tomorrow. VCU is a quality team. That is going to be a very, very tough game tomorrow for Boise State for them to bounce back. So big day. You got the football game at 2:00 and then the basketball game at 6:00. So if you're a Boise State fan, crack open some Cutwaters and enjoy that one. You get 2 for $7 at your local gas station, more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. And again, the Cutwater Studios on the road here at the State Farm Fieldhouse. And it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. If you got in late, you're going to have 1 o'clock Mountain Time with the football pregame. And then you'll have, 1 o'clock Mountain with the football pregame. And then 8 o'clock or so after the basketball game, we'll have postgame for both. So let's see. Mark Moss, I love you, Mark, but you're one of the most negative Boise State fans I know. I'm not going to lie. No mid-major can lose 4 in a row out of conference and have any claim to an at-large. That is just wrong, Mark. I hate to say it, but it's wrong. I'm not going to spend the time to go back and look. But if you lose 4 quad 1 games, and again, I love how people say it's a must-win game. Well, if you win the next 20, are you in? Yes. So this is not a must-win game. It's just Mark at times has some good takes, but I love you, buddy. But I just I know you're feasting on this because you seem like you enjoy the negativity and you enjoy the pessimistic side of things. And I'm not with you on that one. I mean, do you want to win some of these games? Yes. But again, look at last year, 2-2, and they had a pretty good year. And they lost to Charlotte and they lost to South Dakota State. I mean, you've lost to 2 teams that are going to be in the mix in the ACC and fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament. I mean, let's again, if you lose both these games and we're sitting here at 2-4 on Sunday after that game, then we can have the discussion about the course of the season. But right now, it's too early. Our guy Tommy Alquist, BVA, Ball Ventures Alquist. Remember, it's too early, and it didn't maybe necessarily prove to be correct on that one, but I can envision that in my head. Him saying it's too early, and right now I think it's too early for football. If you don't follow the top bracketologists, you really can't have takes like Mark Moss. Let's see, 0-8 in quad 1 games, got the same seed as us last year. That's just wrong, Mark. Now go get him, Mark. Mark probably ate a chicken for Thanksgiving. Go get him, guys. I like Mark. He's a good guy. I've golfed with him before, but sometimes I just don't always agree with his takes. He's the more of the hot take guy, not necessarily the realist at times. But again, going to be a a fun day tomorrow, a long day. I wish I was enjoying Cutwaters and hanging out with you guys and watching football and basketball all day, but I'll be working again now. So that makes for a long day with the games back-to-back. But again, we'll have a pregame show for football, 1 o'clock. I'll be down here at the hotel, and then we'll head over for the game, and then we'll have the postgame show here courtside for both. Kay Foster says, I'm not giving up on the season until they get to conference play. Let's do that. Get to conference play and see what the record is, and see. Just give it a little more time. That's all I'm saying. Give it a little more time. I think it's too early. I mean, this team lost to Bakersfield a couple of years ago. I mean, when they have that bad loss, then you can come to me and say this team isn't any good. But VCU tomorrow would not be a bad loss. Penn State or Butler on Sunday would not be a bad loss. St. Mary's would not be a bad loss. So until they lose a game they're not supposed to lose, and it's a bad loss, then that's when I can. That's when I would like to, have that discussion. Right now, when you're losing to teams that you're supposed to lose to, again, Boise State has lost 2 games, and they were the underdog in both games. So I don't know what folks are wanting. They were not supposed to win either of the 2 games they've played so far. So I get it. Could they have won this game when you have a double-digit lead? Is that a game you should win? Probably so, but they didn't, and they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, you look at the numbers, you look at the Ken Palm numbers, you look at the Vegas betting line, they were not supposed to win tonight. So this was not some horrible loss. Just take a deep breath, relax, and you still have a chance for 2 quality wins in this tournament the next 2 days. But again, Leon Rice was here 15, 20 minutes ago. You can go back and watch the interview if you got here late. He said they could play some nobodies and they could have a much better record, or they could have the record that they do and maybe even a worse record here than after the next couple of games and still feel good about the season. It's a long season. These are the type of games that get you ready for conference play and get you ready for the NCAA tournament. Find me a team in the Mountain West that is going to have a 5-game stretch where they play Clemson, Virginia Tech, VCU, either Butler or Penn State, and then St. Mary's. There is not a team in the Mountain West that will have a 5-game stretch like that. There are not many mid-majors that will have a stretch like that. Heck, there are not many Power 5 teams that play 5 straight games in the non-conference of the caliber of games Boise State is going to play. Even the big boys, they play their 3 games in Maui. They're playing a cupcake on the other end of that. I mean, it's just ridiculous, some of the statements right here. Go look at the schedules, I ask you to, and find some teams that are playing 5 straight games in the non-conference against the quality of teams that Boise State is playing. So I get it. You're frustrated. The record may not look the same, but the overall team is still a quality team, still is a team that can win a lot of games. And I think they're going to be battle tested and they're going to be ready to go. And they're going to have good computer numbers, regardless of how some of these games go, that if they can just, do what they think they can do in conference play, which they should, I still think they're going to be okay. So as Jordan says, these teams are exposing the weaknesses that can be worked out to elevate his team from conference play. That's why you play these games. Clemson guy and the guy from Virginia Tech, sharpshooting guards, killing us right now. Yeah, they have couple guys did have some big games against them, and that obviously hurt things, the last couple of games. But again, let's see. Got so many gray hairs from trying to educate football fan base how basketball works. Appreciate you fighting the good fight. I am getting some gray hairs, unfortunately. My wife's loving commented on that for me. So it's just a little frustrating. Let's see. Hoping for a bit again, not panicking. I do believe we need to win one of the next 2, primarily because our margin for error gets a lot smaller if we can't get a couple wins. I will agree with you on that part of it, Mark. Yes, you want to win one of the next 2 just because it makes it a little tougher, but it's not, you don't have to. If you lose both these games, you still have if you go beat St. Mary's and beat Washington State, you'll still have 3 decent non-con wins, and you'll have computer numbers, and you'll go into fines. So he tried to retract my comment, didn't see any gray hairs. I know what you meant, Derek, but I do actually have a couple of grays coming in on my beard and my hair. My wife is loving the fact that she can now make fun of me for that. But again, I like you, Mark. I appreciate the comment. I know I know your heart comes from a good place. I just think you kind of represent a decent portion of the fan base that, for whatever reason, on social media, love to be negative and love to jump as soon as a team loses one game. It doesn't happen for football as much. Football, it's more for basketball, it seems like. For whatever reason, there's way more detractors and guys ready to jump off the bandwagon and really rip on basketball after one game. When football, it seems, gets so many more breaks and chances, and I don't really understand that part of it. Maybe that's just the folks I see on Twitter, but it seems like, especially early in the season, there were way more people that are being negative right now about a 2-2 basketball start than at times during the football season. So yeah, it is what it is. I get it. You're frustrated, but I just ask you, as Tommy Alquist famously said, it's too early. Give it some time, see what happens, and I think here by Sunday we might have a different conversation. So appreciate you guys for all joining us. We'll wrap things up here again. We'll do it at 1 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. 1 p.m. for the pregame show. No morning show with plenty to talk about football pregame and postgame, but 1 p.m. tomorrow we'll have pregame for both games ahead of the football game, and then after the basketball game. We'll have post game for both games as well. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Go subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal. I am going to move up to the media room here before they kick me out of the court. I've still got a full story to write. That'll be up for subscribers when you wake up tomorrow, or it'll be up there here in a couple of hours if you're still up. But BroncoNationNews.com, you can read my full story on this one. If you're a subscriber at Bronco Nation News, BNN 50 deal is the promo code, $50 for a full year of coverage at Bronco Nation News. We'd love to have you jump on board, read my coverage, read Prater's coverage. Prater's going to write a column on Saturday after the Air Force game once we find out what happens with UNLV as well. So a lot of coverage coming for subscribers. BNN 50 deals, that promo code, and we hope you can help us out. And if you do subscribe, you're eligible for that private jet trip. We're going to pick a random winner, random subscriber, and you get a chance to win a trip for two on a private jet to San Diego for the final regular season game of the season coming up in March. A conference title could be on the line for that one. Looking forward to that. So appreciate all you guys. Let's see. When you're used to 1 and 2 loss football seasons, you freak out when you see 2+ basketball seasons, I guess. All of our kids will be more educated because of the work BNN. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate you, Jordan Morales, Jordan, Derek, all you guys, and we'll see what happens. But a fun day tomorrow. We got the football game against Air Force, the basketball game against VCU. And again, not trying to be negative on the fan base. I get it. You're paying my salary. I appreciate all your fans. You're totally entitled to your opinion. I just think at times you guys jump off the bandwagon, get a little too negative, a little too early. And I think this is one of those times when you look at who they've played and you look at how they've played. I don't think it's time to panic yet. It's a long season and a couple of big opportunities still left down here in Orlando. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Make sure you check out Taco Bell. If you're looking to go get some food, go check out Taco Bell. Perfect time to get some food tonight. They'll be open for breakfast from 7 to 11 in the Treasure Valley as well. And I got some great coffee and some great breakfast quesadillas that you heard Johnny Mallory talking about. So we appreciate SON Management and Taco Bell for their sponsorship. Go check them out. I mentioned BVA, Ball Ventures, Allquist as well. BVAdev.com. You're looking for new space, looking for a developer. Idaho's developer is BVA. And of course, our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. We appreciate them. All your concrete coatings, your interior, exterior, residential painting, commercial painting needs. Check out our friends at rowpaint.com. We appreciate them and their support. And of course, Lithia Ford of Boise. LithiaFordBoise.com. You can view their full inventory of vehicles. We hope you will check them out there. LithiaFordBoise.com for the full inventory of vehicles, and they'll make you a cash offer on the spot as well with their appraiser if you're looking to sell your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them. So check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com. We'll wrap things up here from the State Farm Fieldhouse from the Cutwater Studios. More than 30 flavors of premixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Again, the Broncos fall 82-75 in this one to Virginia Tech. They'll play at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. local time here in Florida. They'll play at 6 p.m. Mountain Time right after the football game against VCU tomorrow night on ESPNU. So go subscribe. BNN 50 deal at BroncoNationNews.com. Full year for $50. In about 2 hours, you can read my full post-game recap and some thoughts on this one. And then we'll have full coverage. We got 2 reporters covering the football game tomorrow. I'll be covering basketball and covering football down here from Florida. So a full day of coverage coming tomorrow on Black Friday here at BroncoNationNews.com. So appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. Go subscribe if you can. Tell your friends. And we'll talk to you 1 p.m. Mountain Time with the Lithia Ford of Boise joint pregame show for football and basketball. 1 p.m. tomorrow here on the Bronco Nation News social media channels. From the State Farm Fieldhouse in Orlando, Florida, the final score, Boise State falls 82-75. And again, we'll join you at 1 o'clock tomorrow with the pregame show. Appreciate all you guys for checking us out. We'll talk to you at 1 o'clock tomorrow. BJ Rains signing off for Bronco Nation News from Orlando. Have a great rest of your night, everybody, and we'll talk to you at 1 p.m. tomorrow.